And while we're in the area, here is the CSEC office. Let's save now that we're back on the Citadel, because I don't think we've done that since arriving. Hello, CSEC assistant.
I've connected with Jonas Sedaris in her cell, Commander. You can speak with her via that console.
Thanks. We'll need some privacy.
Is this guy Rusty from LA Noire?
When you're done, you can also contact Commander Bailey from that terminal.
Who's that spying on me now? Ah, I see. Good. Aria's indentured servant has finally come to deliver me to freedom.
I want to talk with you before I secure your release.
Maybe.
Bullshit. You have no choice.
You sure about that?
When I get out, heads will roll. Oh, yes. You've killed a lot of my people. Don't think I've forgotten that.
So, of course, Eclipse was one of the 3 mercenary groups that we encountered in Mass Effect 2. They were the more yellow and purpley of the mercenary groups, whereas Bloodpack was red, Blue Suns were, surprise, surprise, blue, and silver to a certain extent. So, what was their thing? They were the ones that had more Asari than any of the other groups. Did any of the other groups have any Asari at all? No, they were the only group that had Asari, come to think of it, I think. And so they had some biotics, they had some barriers, they Asari Vanguard specifically. They had some engineers as well of the Solarian variety that occasionally pestered us with some drones, I think. And other than that, I mean, of course, as was, I think, pretty much the case for any of those 3 groups, they occasionally threw out the Yammer mechs at us. Anything else that was distinguishing about them? I mean, we encountered them on many missions, including but not limited to Sumi's loyalty mission comes to mind, and a bunch of more minor ones. Personally a fan of the Bloodpack Punisher, more so than the Hurricane. Yeah, like I said, I have not used the Punisher basically at all, but I've heard people say good things about it, so I am curious. Okay, but it does seem like Jonah knows that we have killed many Eclipse people in the past, so, yeah, well, let's not worry too much about that, right?
You have to move on.
And I will, once all my enemies are dead. I love holding all the cards. Even in here, you must deal with me. I have all the power.
You sure about that?
Is that right?
Yes, Sane, my second in command, is a weak-willed toady. If he had balls, he'd leave me to rot and take control himself. But he won't defy me. He knows better.
Really?
Get me out of here, Shepard. Tell Bailey to release me.
Really now?
Bailey, I've seen Sedaris.
So she's crazy, right? It would be ridiculous to let her out.
She does seem pretty crazy. Also, not to mention, she basically just gave us all the information we need to go track down her second in command. So she was like, surely my second in command wouldn't just leave me here to rot and take control of the organization. Now that's an idea, isn't it? Thanks for the suggestion. Maybe that's what we'll do.
She's a menace. Let me try to make this problem go away.
Sounds good. I'll hold the line until I hear from you.
Yurahi? Okay, so looking for an alternative, and perhaps that alternative is to track down that second in command. So there's Gnarl, and that is the Blood Pack one that we will do, of course, soon after this. But one at a time here. Let's see this one through. So now, does it tell us anything about where to find this guy? Nah, it's still just directing us toward Bailey. But I think what we're looking for is if we go, I think, to the holding area.
Now arriving at Docking Bay E24, emergency civilian housing.
Okay, let's see if there's anyone at the wall, because occasionally we'll see new people at the wall. Hold on. This music. Port Hanshan? It's from Mass Effect 1. Now there's two two pieces that are kind of playing over each other. I think it's Port Hanshan. Is that it? It's definitely not Pharos. Yeah, I think it's got to be Novaria, Port Hanshan.
Hey there.
Anything new from these
Looking
two?
mighty low today. You okay? Anyone been bothering you?
Sounds like
It's not
the
that.
beginning of this conversation again. I think been there, heard that. Ah, okay. Here's Donner Voss. Now that's the Blue Suns guy. But here's Sane, who is supposedly the second in command for Eclipse, and apparently is too weak-willed to do anything to mix it up a bit with the whole leadership structure of Eclipse. But maybe we can convince him otherwise.
Men, get ready for trouble.
Not here for that, Sane. Just want to talk about Jonas Sedaris' release.
Oh, you're the one coordinating that, right? My idea, you know. Aria came to me looking to gain Eclipse support. I'm leveraging it to bust the boss out.
Yes, but hear me out here. What if we just forgot about Sedaris? What if Sedaris just blinked and she wasn't there? She just ceased to exist.
Sane, you should run Eclipse.
Huh?
You can do it. Leave Sedaris locked up and make the deal with Aria yourself.
Aria would be a step up. And you think she'd let me run things?
I don't see why not.
Right. Right. Then that's the plan. Keep Sedaris in jail. I'll call Aria right away.
Good man.
All right. Sounds good. So, appears as though we have a plan to get the support of Eclipse. Now, technically, I think there is a small bug, or actually a big bug, with this quest, where after having talked to Sane, make sure that you don't quit the game. You need to see this one through, so let's go and speak to Bailey, because I think we're all ready now to chat with him, because I think we have figured out that we are not going to release Sedaris.
Shepard, the council withdrew the release order for Sedaris. Aria Talok, of all people, got him to do it. Crazy.
You can say that again.
Thanks for your help, Shepard.
So there you have it. War asset update, and quest now complete. So we're all good. As I said, make sure that after you speak to Satan, if you do choose to go this route, that you at least walk through the little, I don't know what you call this thing. And that will trigger that conversation with Bailey to make sure that you finish the mission, because if you don't do that before you quit the game, then you may have the game bug on you, and in doing so may prevent you from finishing that mission, which of course would stink. Okay, so save here, and next on the list would be Donner Vosk. I mean, we're right here. I suppose we might as well. And he, I believe, is our Blue Suns guy. Aria Talok has requested assistance uniting mercenary bands under her control. Speak to Donner Vosk in the Citadel refugee camp and gain the allegiance of the Blue Suns. So the Blue Suns were the group that was co-founded by Vito Santiago and Zaid Masani, who of course was a teammate of ours in Mass Effect 2. So we learned about it a bit from him, but also we faced them in a whole variety of missions. On Purgatory, when we were trying to recruit Jack. On, naturally, Zaid's loyalty mission. And Garrus's loyalty mission. Whole bunch of stuff. And more minor things as well.
Wow. Aria wasn't kidding. The great Commander Shepard on a leash.
I'm here for my own reasons, Vosk.
Oh, sure you are. Anyway, tell her I'm impressed, but to do business, I still need my little problem taken care of.
Oh?
Which is?
A Taurian general named Oraka has it out for the Blue Suns. He's raising a stink over our activity in this sector. I'll commit my gang to Aria as soon as Oraka's dead.
So clearly there's more to it than just that. Clearly you have some kind of beef with this guy, and you don't want to be the one to kill him. I mean, you're leader of a mercenary. Are you the leader of the Blue Suns? Because obviously it was Zaid and Vito Santiago. Then Zaid left and nearly got killed in trying to do so. Vito, I mean, we let him escape in Mass Effect 2, so theoretically he's still out there, unless he somehow died in between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, which I'm not sure if that happened or not. But that would suggest that he's still leader, and at best, Darner Voskir is second in command, although he's making it sound like he's the one calling the shots. But either way, the fact that a group of mercenaries is unwilling to murder someone and needs someone else to do the dirty work for them, that does raise some suspicion. Is it because you're concerned that doing so would attract too much attention of some variety and perhaps get whoever this is, who you're trying to get us to kill, might get some of their friends to exact revenge on you and the Blue Suns?
There must be more to Araka's complaint.
We're just making little raids along trading routes. With Aria's blessing, I might add. Oraka's just some military fossil who came out of retirement to relive the glory days and justify his existence. Losing him won't affect your war in the least, but gaining the Blue Suns, well, you know our work.
Well, see, the thing is, I'd rather not kill for you.
You seriously think I'll assassinate a Turian general?
Aria seems to think so. Or else, why would she send you? She knew the price. The two of you work it out. Oh, and, tell Aria I still expect her blue ass in bed with me.
Somehow I doubt that.
What is it, Shepard?
You knew about this?
Can you be more specific?
Darner Vosk expects me to kill General Araka.
Who cares what Vosk wants? What he needs is for Araka to stop disrupting his operations. I figured you'd talk to Araka, see if you can get him to lay off. And if he won't listen to reason, call me, and I'll take care of it.
I mean, if that is the direction we end up going, then same result. We're still, maybe not directly, but certainly indirectly involved in murdering what apparently is a Turian general. This actually, Araka, if that sounds at all familiar, that is because, at least for me, I think his first name is more the thing that I associate with him with. That being Septimus Araka, who I believe is someone that we came across in Mass Effect 1 in Korra's Den. Was he the Turian that we bumped into? Was he the one at the back table who was very drunk and we sort of criticized him for being like, hey, dude, you're Turian general and you're getting wasted here in a bar and making a fool out of yourself when you should be standing up for yourself and looking professional because you're one of the highest ranking Turians out there.
I don't see the distinction.
The distinction is that I'm giving you the chance to save his life.
Right. Why didn't you just tell me this yourself?
Vosk needed to see you, needed to realize who he's dealing with. Plus, if I have to suffer that scumbag staring at my tits one more time, I might have to kill him.
Yeah, he mentioned...
That I'm going to sleep with him? We all have our delusions.
Okay, well, you heard it there, directly from Aria. That is, of course, the person that we are technically doing these missions for. So, we need to find this Septimus guy. And so was he the one who, he had some intel? Did he badmouth the consorts? Is that what his mission was in Mass Effect 1? I can't remember exactly what the context was, because I'm mixing him up with the other Turian that we encountered in Korra's Den in Mass Effect 1, the one that we bumped into on our way out, who was the CSEC officer, when we were speaking to Jen, the bartender.
Please consult Anavina terminal for
Okay, so I think what we're looking to do here is go back to the Commons.
1 moment, please. Now arriving at Presidium Commons.
Did we get any monies from finishing the previous mission? I think we actually did. I think we got 5,000? I say because, of course, naturally we're walking by all the shops again. So we can... We did look at everything, so I'm not sure we need to buy anything at this point. But let's see if we can find this dude. That was kind of freaky, the way you just popped in like that, directly in front of us, but okay. Oh, you're right here. General Araka.
Commander Shepard.
General Araka, I think we met in Korra's den. You were pretty miserable, if I recall.
Yes, neck deep in drink just before I retired. I'm clean now, reinstated.
I hear you're taking on the Blue Suns.
I need to do my part for the Citadel, Commander. The Blue Suns are raiding CSEC weapons shipments. I'm putting a stop to that. Those mercs are seriously jeopardizing the Citadel's ability to defend itself if the war comes here. When the war comes here.
There are other ways to secure weapons, General.
You don't think I've tried? There's a black market dealer on Citadel right now, but he won't sell his top-line arms. The Reapers are destroying everything in their path, and I can't stop them. But I can stop the Blue Suns.
Yeah, so he was the one that's spreading the rumors about the Asari consort. Shaira, I think is her name. Yeah, so he's the one that was sitting in sort of the back area of Korra's den, getting totally wasted. Not the one who we bumped into on our way out of Korra's den, who was pretending to be wasted, but was actually a CSEC officer undercover. Okay, so, and then this was the one where we then went to, what was it, the Elcor diplomat, or one of the Elcor diplomats, who also was implicated in some way, and eventually we got it all resolved. Okay, so you're saying you need some way to get these weapons, and you don't want Cerberus to be messing, or rather, you don't want the Blue Suns to be messing with your supply chain, but maybe this black market guy who currently is not willing to sell the high-level weapons to you, maybe we can find a way to get them for you.
Let me see what I can do for you.
I'd appreciate your help, and I'll have a plan of action ready if things fall through.
Okay.
Commander, unless you can find a new source of weapons for CSEC, I'm putting together a task force to stop the Blue Suns myself.
Okay, now we're working on it.
I'll get you your weapons, General.
I appreciate the effort, but I've spent too much time out of action, Commander. Won't be able to sit on my hands much longer.
Okay. So, we need to get some weapons for this guy. Let's see if we can talk with any shopkeepers about doing something about that. Maybe your third favorite Turian NPC, despite how useless he is. All right. Well, I mean, now you have to list them in order. Does Garrus count? All right. He's not directly playable, but he's obviously a party member. In which case, I mean, you have to put him first. But I mean, who else? There's the Primarch. I don't know, are you a fan of Primarch Victus? And there's this guy. What are the other most prominent the Turian Counselor? Don't be silly. Don't count Garrus. Okay, fair enough. We have dismissed those claims.
Look, Commander, I don't want any trouble. I'm authorized to sell here, and all my arms are legal, see?
These are lightweight weapons. Where's your top-end inventory?
Shit, you slumming for CSEC too? I already got harassed by the old Turian with the bad attitude. Yeah, I got much better stuff, but it's off the market. Galaxy's going belly up. Credit won't mean anything once the Reapers rip through.
Victus is number 1? Okay, okay. I see how it is. Who's number 2 then? Oh, Rocka's 4. He's dropping down the list already. Forgot about Sparatus. Don't remember who that is. Oh, what about, if we're talking about the entire trilogy, and that does open things up. It's like there's the, what's his name? There's the Turian guy in Port Hanshin, Novaria, Mass Effect 1, whose name currently escapes me, the one who has the glitch for the infinite morality points. Is that Sparatus? No, Sparatus is the Turian counselor. Okay. I may have killed him. He may be dead. He may be dead. So, this guy, at least, is saying that he's, well, he does have better stock. He's just not willing to sell it to us.
So what exactly are you saying?
Whatever happens, I figure there'll be survivors, but it'll be chaos. I'm betting things will run on a barter system. So I'm getting a jump. My best stock only trades for hard goods and artifacts with real value.
Okay, so what would you take?
So, what gets me access to your top shelf?
Heh, Turian just waved credits in my face and then spat on it. Nice to see you have flexibility. If you find any rare pieces when you're out saving the galaxy, bring them back. Then I'm happy to share my top stock with C-Sec, no problem. Outside of that, I gotta stick to my guns.
Okay. Little bit of Paragon points. Let's save here, because this is actually another one that is potentially a little bit bugged. I'm not 100% sure if we have. Oh, okay. I don't know, Nyreen. But, so this is another mission that is also potentially a little bit bugged. So I'm deliberately saving before we talk to Kennick again, because I'm not 100% sure. We have obviously done all the exploration that we could do up until now to try to find things like artifacts. Now, is it possible that you can collect this thing before speaking to Kennick and then next conversation you just pass it into him? Or is it only possible to get it once you have had this discussion? I'm not 100% sure about that, so let's see.
Credits don't talk with me, Commander. C-Sec wants my top of the line. You gotta come through with a couple artifacts.
Okay. Sounds
Credits
like...
don't talk with me, Commander. C-Sec wants my top of the line. You gotta come through with...
Sounds like, in that case, we have not yet picked it up. And so we do still need to do some exploration. So, okay. I suppose that means we'll have to head back over to the Normandy and find these artifacts that this guy's looking for. Oh, what about... You said Victus. Are you talking Victus Senior or Victus Junior? Because if so, then where does the other Victus rank? Okay, so in order to get this deal done, General Araka is out of his way, or rather, the Blue Suns want General Araka out of his way before committing the sons to Aria. Find a way to deal with Araka. His son is a clown. His son may have been in over his head, but hey, on Turian Balm, he made the ultimate sacrifice. Okay, so in theory, since everything was at 100% before, one would think that means anything that is no longer at 100% would be the place where that is. Also, apparently, it just tells us it's in Kite's Nest. It's flashing. It says 77%, and it says find artifacts, so it must be here. To fix his own mistake? I mean, is it his mistake that the Turians planted a bomb not thousands, but hundreds of years ago? That aspect, not so much. The other thing is about generally being an incompetent commander. Maybe more so there. Okay, so it does not appear to be here. Hello, Batarian Homeworld. Idris. Vular. Oh! Looks like a totally new system. Okay, hold on. We were on very low fuel previously. Did we get more back after finishing Sanctuary? We did. Okay, so we're good. Don't worry about that. It's pretty far. Oh, it just tells us where it is. That's also very convenient. His mistake was getting his squad killed. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. That is fair.
I found something.
Well, I was kind of hoping that since this was technically a place in which we had a mission, maybe the Reapers weren't going to show up. And granted, that has generally not been the case whenever there were quests that were based on scanning specific planets for specific artifacts. But in the past, we never had the specific planet that we needed highlighted like this, so I had my hopes up, but was not the case this time. So I suppose, hold on. Why don't we, oh, well, this is the outermost planet, and then we'll work our way in, and it also happens to be the one that appears to have the artifact on it. So Vanna is a large rock planet. Vanna is covered in prodigious amounts of dry ice, leaving only thin traces of gas for its atmosphere. Uranium deposits drew Batarian miners to Vanna long ago, and when that was exhausted, they moved on to its magnesium. Reapers have exterminated the colony here, punching holes in the domed cities and leaving its occupants to asphyxiate. Yeah, so this is very close to the Batarian homeworld, so understandable that they would be the ones trying to harvest it for resources. Speaking of resources, though, apparently there is an artifact of some variety here. And, oh, black market artifacts is also a war asset, so cool. And with that, that gets us to 50%. So there is one other thing here. It might be on a planet, but usually if we found one asset on a planet, that means the other asset is in the middle of nowhere, and it's usually fuel, which technically we wouldn't need to get back to the relay system, although if we're traveling further, then might become significant. And, well, let's read up on the other planets first, and then we might do a little bit of perusing the area to see if we can pick up that fuel or whatever else it might be. But when we do, the Reapers are gonna flood this system and try to chase us out, so we do need to be careful. Azimir is a hydrogen-helium gas giant whose gravitational pull perturbs the orbit of two nearby asteroid fields, adding momentum so that asteroids shatter during collisions rather than accrete into planets. Debris from a great battle can be seen here. Batarian naval ships, merchant ships, and a few Reaper destroyers have been pounded into wreckage. It appears that the Batarian Navy tried to defend the Helium-3 refueling stations, giving civilian ships time to escape the system. Then, Urshbot? Urshbot was a wealthy Batarian colony, rich in farmland, minerals, and manufacturing infrastructure. Little recent information about it has escaped this section of space, but radio traffic from the planet paints a dire picture. Indoctrinated Batarian officials are offering rewards for every living body brought to their labor camps, slave or not. With the state apparatus at their disposal, Reaper units are coordinating house-to-house hunts for resistance members and paying those who turn them in. Government propaganda dismisses the smell of the processing ships as a natural byproduct of Reaper energy consumption. Columns of dust from annihilated cities tell the story of those who disobeyed. Yikes. That's pretty nasty. Actually, currently doing Omega as you watch the stream. Well, we are approaching the same mission then. That's exciting stuff. So now that we have at least read about all the planets, a lot of asteroid belts here. Certainly a chance that this last asset is in one of these, or also the chance that there's actually a little planetoid or something of the likes. So we're listening for the little boop sound. Let's see. We have reason to suspect anything here. Though I did not hear anything. mean, there's a chance that something is more directly in the orbit. This is not usually the way in which we would be exploring like this. Usually do not go the circular exploration pattern. But, oh, I hear it. It's right here. Okay, fortunately, it was near the edge of the system, and it is not near where any of the Reapers are going to spawn in. So normally I would say it's perhaps worth ducking out for a second, saving, and that way, if we do get caught, it's not the end of the world, but I think we're still good here. Because the Reapers are far enough away that we can pick up our 150 fuel. Oh man. Oh boy. We're loaded up, and the Reapers didn't even have time to invade the system. We're totally good. And that means 100% explored there, and now 100% explored in the entire Kite's Nest once again, so that's good. A little more fuel than we would have otherwise had, but now let's head back to the Citadel to turn in that quest. Okay, so let's head back. And we are going to the Alliance docks.
You're cleared to dock, Normandy. Do you need ground transport?
And we're looking to go back to the Presidium Commons.
I need a cab to the Presidium.
It'll be there momentarily.
Okay, so we know we want to speak to that shopkeeper, as that is the person who is seeking this artifact. There is Aria, but not yet ready to speak to him again, I don't think. So this is the component of the mission that I think is a little bit buggy, where sometimes you don't get the full reward.
You're back, huh? Any luck out there?
For turning in this quest. So let's save beforehand. Then let's speak to him, and I think the key is when you're speaking to him, you want to make sure that you stay right there. Don't walk away mid-conversation. That's supposedly one thing that can influence getting the rewards for it or not. If it doesn't work, then of course we can reload that save, and then hopefully we'll be good on our second attempt.
Here, I've got some pieces for you.
Done deal, Commander. Check in with General Aria. You'll see I'm making C-Sec very happy.
Wait for it. There it is. Yeah, a bit of a delay, but Terminus Fleet has been updated. So yeah, it might be that if you walk away before you actually see that pop up in the bottom corner, then you might just not get it. So stand still after talking to him, and worst comes to worst, reload that save, which you should do just in front of him, just before you turn it in, just in case. And now I guess we can speak to Aria, and hopefully he is pleased.
Commander Shepard, I was just contacted by a black market dealer who's donating high-end weapons to CSEC. He wanted you to know. Sounds like it came through.
And the Blue Suns can go about their business.
Now we'll be focusing on Citadel defense. It won't bring Palaven back, but it's something. Thank you, Commander.
It is still a little bit odd. Still a little bit odd how CSEC is purchasing black market weapons, and he's just not even remotely secretive about it, that conversation. He's not speaking in hushed tones or anything, just blurting it out loud for the entire Citadel to hear. By the way, CSEC is purchasing black market weapons, and we're grateful for it too. Alright, I suppose so. Okay, so that means we should now be all set with the Blue Suns recruitment mission, and that leaves us with just the Blood Pack, which of course Aria has requested assistance uniting mercenary bands under her control, speak to Gnarl in the Presidium Commons, and gain the allegiance of the Blood Pack. Conveniently, we are currently in the Presidium Commons, and he is the one that we've also seen pop up every time we've walked through here, so this might have actually been the one that we've seen perhaps even more often than we've seen the prompt to speak to Commander Bailey, because obviously we've gone to the shop area many times before.
Quick, hands behind your back. We'll be here any minute.
What the hell are you talking about?
Crete, Bloodpack's leader. Aria brings him the great Commander Shepard. Crete pledges the gang to her. We're just luring him into the open so we can take him out.
Not the best start to our friendship, Gnarl.
He's coming. Put your hands behind your back and try to look like I beat you up or something.
Okay. I guess we're just gonna trust this guy. Maybe we're the ones that are gonna look very stupid right now, not Araka, comparatively speaking. We're about to find out.
Better be on the up and up.
Quiet.
Aria to look even more powerful than Crete thought. Her instructions on boarding Citadel undetected were one thing. Now this. Commander Shepard, want you to know, your head will be hood ornament on my personal shuttle.
Keep your distance, Crete. So, do you agree to Aria's terms?
Most definitely. Aria can use blood pack as she sees fit.
Wasn't talking to you, Crete. Grill?
Oh?
What? You have my word. Now open fire!
Oh!
Not him. Grill's next in line to take over. Aria's deal is with him.
Yes. Yes. I'm Aria's mole, Shepard. You've scratched my back. Now I'll scratch yours.
Word of advice. Don't double-cross Aria.
I may be ambitious, but I'm not crazy.
Uh-huh. Good work, Gnarl. Thanks for the gun.
Anytime, Shepard. Grill and I will let Aria know the light is green.
And there we go. It's reputation, experience, money, and war asset update as well. So that one, comparatively speaking, definitely the most straightforward. And for what it's worth, yes, Mark Meer is the voice actor for both Commander Shepard, male Commander Shepard, and for all of the Vorcha. So that entire conversation between Shepard and I believe all of the Vorcha in that encounter, both the one that we shot and the one that we teamed up with, all the same person. Not the Batarian, but Shepard and the two Vorcha. So, yes, Mark Meer speaking to himself, that means, and it's impressive. The Vorcha voice acting is impressive. Say what you want about the Commander Shepard voice acting, because I mean, in some ways, I mean, there's so many lines, of course, and there's such a... You can't go too crazy with Commander Shepard, because you kind of need to have, you know, the neutral option, the more Paragon-y option, the more Renegade option, which, sure, gives you the option of some range, but I think, you know, to a certain extent, by design, Shepard is not this super charismatic. I mean, not to say Shepard is not always charismatic, because there are certainly times when Shepard is charismatic, but, you know, it's not like Shepard always has, by default, this one personality, like, you know, Shepard is just this person who's hard on everybody and is a tough guy, and everybody respects Shepard because he doesn't take the easy way out, which, you know, you can sort of do by playing the Renegade route, but it's not like that is the default way that Shepard is constructed. Yeah, there are definitely times when it's a little more on the flat side. I get what you're saying. I think more so in Mass Effect 1 and 2, though. Mass Effect 3, I think he has a little more range with it. But yeah, the Vorcha, impressive stuff. Impressive stuff, for sure. Okay, so with that, that means that we have now finished all of those little Aria-based, mercenary group-based missions on the Citadel, and because all of those mercenary groups were, of course, originally groups that were centralized on Omega, means that by having their support and by working with Aria, it does lend itself well to then team up with Aria and try to go back and win Omega from Cerberus. But before we do that, we did see several updates to our war assets. Maybe we take a quick stop back off at the Normandy to see where that left us. So let's head over here. Oh yeah, and with regard to Jennifer Hale's performance as Commander Shepard, I've never played as FemShep. I'm intrigued by the prospect of doing so, just because, I mean, in some ways, I mean, the lines are almost entirely the same, but obviously it's totally new person voicing, so I feel like, you know, it's a new way to experience Mass Effect that I've just not experienced yet. So if I were to ever go back and play New Game Plus, then I'd probably go on FemShep just to see what it's all about. So we have some alien updates here for Terminus Fleet, and this looks like the place where the Blood Pack, and presumably Eclipse and Blue Suns, have also started to join the war effort. The Blood Pack's mercenaries have been compared to floods, wildfires, and other calamities. It recruits Krogans, Forcha, and preferably those with no regard for collateral damage. On the rare occasion, when brute force is insufficient, the Blood Pack is willing to deploy weapons of mass destruction normally banned in Citadel space. Play FemShep, romance Garrus, experience Mass Effect in an entirely different way. I mean, yeah, it is definitely a totally different perspective, and so it is intriguing in that way, but in some ways, I wanted to see with Legendary Edition going with, I mean, I sort of went back and forth. You know, do you go for male Shepard, who I had played in the past, and try to play Legendary Edition as close to the way I had played the original trilogy and just see as close a comparison as you can possibly get between original Mass Effect trilogy and Legendary Edition trilogy? How much better is it? That way it's easier to tell. Whereas, you know, if you, on Legendary Edition, suddenly, yes, obviously it's the upgraded and updated version, but if you're also looking at it from a totally different perspective of FemShep, then, you know, is it a scientific experiment in which you're just modifying one variable? No, at that point, you know, you have several things that you're changing, potentially significant things that you're changing, because it's a totally different, at least, perspective that you're coming at from with Commander Shepard. So I was sort of on the fence. I obviously still a lot of new stuff that you can experience that way. So on one hand, okay, more new stuff. Great. On the other hand, well, I am also curious to try to compare original trilogy to the new and improved Legendary Edition, and perhaps it'd be a more effective comparison if I am trying to make it as close a comparison and close an experiment as possible. Sniper FemShep, for what it's worth, although I am not one to snipe all that often, my original Mass Effect 3 playthrough, I did play Infiltrator, and so I did snipe. I think, for what it's worth, I think a lot of my problems with sniping in multiplayer is that I get pretty significant framiness, and that just makes it really hard to be precise with shooting, whereas if I'm playing locally, you know, not online with the campaign, then I think it's probably much better. So I feel like probably be much more comfortable sniping in the campaign than I would be in multiplayer. So let's see. This private security group is careful to maintain its image as a professional mercenary force. In reality, the Blue Suns have drifted further and further into becoming a full-blown crime syndicate. Despite this, their ruthless tactics are sought after in the Terminus systems. Right, they technically are a security group. Yeah, I think he's Mark Muir relative to Jennifer Hale, from what I've heard. I've seen, obviously, the occasional scenes with FemShep in them, and I've seen some, like, Mass Effect live streams with all the voice actors, or many of the voice actors, and so I've heard Jennifer Hale there. So it's not like I've never heard anything FemShep, but, you know, I've never experienced the full-blown campaign with FemShep. Yeah, so, I mean, but I've heard good things about FemShep, about Jennifer Hale's performance as FemShep, and that's one of the reasons why I would say, you know, it feels like it's worth doing it at some point, because it seems like, you know, it's some people, potentially a lot of people, say that they prefer FemShep for that reason. Yeah, she's pretty famous. She has a lot of voice performances in lots of video games. Does she ever do things outside of video games? I don't know. But she has like a crazy long resume. Okay, so let's see. Then the Eclipse Corporation specializes in smart security solutions, developing tactics around surgical strikes, sabotage, and electronic warfare. These mercenaries are supported by a sizable army of combat mechs and rely heavily on tech for support in combat. And biotics as well. I think they are the only group here that uses any biotics. Maybe the Blood Pack, very occasional once in a while with some of the Krogan, but for sure never doing biotic stuffs. But yeah, I mean, Terminus Fleet right now is up to 200 power. I don't remember what it was before we picked up all those guys. I feel like it might have just been 50. And then each individual mercenary group was an incremental 50, so 150 across all three of the mercenary groups, plus the initial 50 gets us to the 200 we see here. That's big. That's very big. Now we're getting mid 7,000s approaching upper 7,000, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Some animated shows as well. Don't know if I've seen any of those shows then with her in it. Maybe, and I just didn't realize it. I feel like I probably would have known her voice well. I mean, maybe before I played Mass Effect, depending on what else she's voice acted in. If there was like something that I saw as a little kid long before I knew who Jennifer Hale was, then perhaps I have watched something with her in it, just not knowingly.